I'm like halfway to being monetized on YouTube, so I got to keep the streams going. All right, what's up?
Oh man. Okay. So, I guess the advice I'm looking for is how do you navigate a conversation that I feel like I need to have, um, as well as if um, I need to create a boundary. I guess that's my question.
Okay.
Um, so I feel like my family's relationship dynamic is, I would say, affecting my relationship,
Hmm.
but not in the sense of um, like they have an opinion of the relationship or anything like that. It's more like me dealing with family stuff and the boyfriend wanting to, check in on me, but um, in the moment, he's like trying to correct me. And I've told him that he's very much like a fixer, you know, and it's like, I get it, but that's not what I really need in that moment, especially if I'm already emotional. Like I can understand that he's like thinking logical, like, oh well, this was a problem, so this is how you could fix it. But in the moment, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm trying to deal with my emotions that I'm going through.
Right.
I did kind of tell, and this is a pattern, so I did wait to recognize it as a pattern. And then I did actually last week kind of go through something really big to where the day was fucked up. Like, I literally had like a family thing I was dealing with. On top of that, I got flat tire, and then I had to like wait for 4 hours to even get my tire fixed. And on top of that, I couldn't break down and cry, and I really wanted to cry.
Right.
And then he was like, "Oh well," like check, like asking me like, "How'd it go?" And it was like it went bad, and he was like, "Oh well, if you maybe should have done this and this, then it maybe wouldn't have happened." And I'm like, I don't need, I don't need that. Like, I need are you okay? Whatever, right? So I did address it with him, and I told him that was not the moment that I needed logic, that I needed more just like emotional support. Um, and he received it. He was like, okay, I understand. And I said, I understand that you're trying to be helpful. I'm not thinking you're doing it in a bad way. It's just in that moment, it was not going to be received exactly like, because I'm heightened versus like, let me calm down. And then you come in with, hey, well, maybe next time you can approach blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm okay with that. So then he's like, okay, like I get it. And I told him like it's happened a couple times, but this was just where it got to be like I said, I was emotional that day and I
Right.
couldn't release. So he checked in on me a couple days later, but then he kind of still did it again. Where it was like, I'm better, I'm fine. Um, and then it was just like, oh well, you should do this, this, and this, and it's just like,
I got people cutting the grass, right? You have to just ignore it.
so the part that I'm waiting is because right now we're only able to text. So this is also why we haven't really addressed it and like
Right.
really go in. I won't see him until next week. So I'm also trying to mentally prepare for the conversation,
Okay.
as may it be heavy or not, I don't know. But I'm trying to like not make it as I feel like he's he wants to be there,
Right.
right? but um, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be like, maybe I need to like not bring up family stuff with him until maybe we have more of a solid foundation, or maybe he's even met my family, because this is also him coming from what I've told him about my family. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, is he projecting his family dynamic as well? And I say that because, so our similarities, like, we do recognize like our family sometimes will be doing some extra stuff, if that makes sense, right?
Uh-huh.
And but the difference is, I see my family, I see them, I live in the same state as them, because my kids, my family is in my life. Now I do know the difference, like I will be with them and then I'll be like, okay, I can't handle whatever no more, I'm gonna leave. But
Okay.
because of my kids, I'm going to keep them in their life. I'm not going to, I'm not
Okay.
at a place of like total
We're
separation.
getting into the weeds, OCC.
Okay,
We're getting into the
sorry.
weeds.
So I guess my question is like, how do you think I should draw a boundary right now with that, or until like he meets the family, or do I still address it when I see him? Is this like something else? Like, we're only at 4 months.
Yeah, I
So,
think I think this is just another byproduct of you being a bit anxious, right? So you're amplifying this in your head. Like you're even treating this as like, okay, we got to have a discussion because when I bring to you emotional issues, you want to resolve it. This isn't an objectively, this is not a big deal.
okay.
Objectively, this is not a major problem, right? So this isn't something we have to sit down and have a long drawn out discussion about. This is just something that you're probably gonna have to be patient with because men aren't really taught to do what you're saying. You're describing becoming a masculine container. So essentially, that just means the woman is expressing emotions over whatever emotional situation she experienced, and the man is there to just bear witness, right? Just want someone to be with you in that emotional experience, not to necessarily try to solve it, just to show you that they're your rock and they're there, right? And that kind of makes you feel better to know that you have that strong support system, right? So you're trying to almost like regulate, really. So it's like your goal is like a regulation in that moment, and he's
Yeah.
like, okay, here's a problem to solve. That's like
But I
that's.
do hope,
Go ahead.
but I do have like support.
Right,
For me, I could call somebody else. Like he doesn't need. I feel like he wants to be my go-to.
right.
But if that's my go-to, I don't feel as heard in that moment. So that's where it's just like, well, if that's what you have to give, I actually don't want that right now.
Right, right. I get it. Yeah. I mean, I would you can definitely have a conversation about it. It's just the tone that you're even talking about it right now is like heavier than it needs to be. Right.
And yeah,
So,
I
and I would bring that up to you. I wouldn't wait for it to happen again. I would just bring it up like even just casually in conversations like yeah, this is just what women need in this situation. They just want someone to just hear them, not to try to get into problem solving territory. In other words, I wouldn't have this conversation like after it happens again. So like let's say you get emotional again, you call him, you go through the same rigmarole, he tries to advise you, and then in that moment you talk about it because then you're gonna be emotionally heightened and you're gonna overreact. So just have it when you're in like an even keel emotional place and just accept that you may have to remind him multiple times. Like that's just how people are. If there's a habit that even you have, because this as you look at it like a habit, right? There's a habit that you have. Someone may say, "Hey, Cece, stop doing that." You're like, "Okay," and then because it's a habit, you likely will eventually do it again. And it's like, okay, well, you gotta
Yeah,
remind
and
them
I
of it.
work on that. I actively, to some way, and that probably is like my anxious attachment with just the people in general. I try to be like mindful of how they are.
Hmm.
Some people, I have that from. That's why even like yesterday when you're talking about like the girl with the Delulu, right? My
Right.
friends can say that to me. they can say, hey, get over yourself, like you are this and this, but we've built that. We're talking, these are friends I've known for 20 years. As much as they can call me out, they also can recognize maybe other nonverbal things or whatever, but they also are coming from a place of like they said, they've met my family, they know they've had to be there at certain times. Right. So this is now just development. And I know like that's what I would eventually want, but the road to get there is where I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to look out for?
I don't really get the point that you're making right there in terms of like the way you articulated that. Are you connecting that to the same issue?
No, as I said, like as far as like maybe a boundary of like maybe I don't talk about it as much right now with him, and I do just lean on my friends more, and he just knows that I'm just gonna lean more towards my friends so we can get more developed in our relationship.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. If you think that he's just going to default to doing the same thing, then yeah, you might. I wouldn't tell him that though. I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm not going to talk to you about this. Were you thinking of telling him that?
I mean, back like maybe not like indefinitely, but like let's back off of it a little bit for right now
Is he
because
like, is he like overtly asking you about this issue, or are you just bringing it up to him voluntarily?
both. So like I said, like you know, he we talk every day, so some capacity he's asking me what I'm doing. So if he knows, we've had again, he knows part of the dynamic. So
Right.
if he asks me what I'm doing and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be with my family, or you know, in this instance though too, it was this very specific reason why I was going to meet with my family.
Gotcha.
We are trying to work on the things.
Okay.
So that is another reason why if like I already pre-warned him, I know what I'm going to be dealing with. So I get it, he's checking on me,
Right.
but in the checking on, that's where it will
Okay. Yeah, I would just keep it kind of short. Um,
okay.
and in the meantime, just as a short term solution, I wouldn't get into this whole diatribe about like why you're keeping it short or anything like that. And just talk about other things. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you can have the conversation with him, but you don't want to make this like the new problem to solve in a relationship.
I don't.
That's like the pattern that you have with him this whole time is like there's a new problem, and it's like that new problem is like it represents the entire relationship in your mind, and it's you're amplifying it. There's a whole bunch of good in the relationship, but you are
Mhm.
fixated on the one bad thing, and over time that gets draining and annoying. So you won't put yourself in that position because it's like you don't want him to be like every time I deal with this one, there's another big problem to solve that's blown out of proportion. So um, have the conversation with them and just look at it as like reminding the same way, like, not to say that you're his mother or anything like that, but with your kids and stuff, it's like room is not clean. It's like you may have to remind them to clean the room. It's probably not their natural temperament to do it, right? You're basically having him do something that's not natural for us men. Like it ain't natural for me either. I just know about it, right? I hate when women call in and I can tell that's the role they want me to play in this conversation because that's not what this live is for. I'm not here to be your masculine container. I'm not here for you to just vent to and me to be like, that sounds rough. That's annoying to me. There's only one person I can do that with. Well, the women in my family and a woman I'm romantically involved with. I'm not doing it for strangers on the internet, right? I don't
Right.
have the emotional bandwidth for that. So uh, it's just not natural for us. So you just have to keep in mind that that's not something you're asking him to do something that's not natural for him. So it's going to take time for him to get accustomed to it, right? It's not a flaw. It's just a skill that you want him to learn. So I have to look at it. You're not
Right.
missing something. This is a new skill that I would like you to learn from the relationship, and we may have to reinforce the importance of this over time until it just becomes the default setting. Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing too, then should I also limit or tell him maybe we could also limit the conversation with text?
What do you mean?
So, like I said, so right now he's not here.
Uh huh.
So we can't talk on the phone, even though we communicate every day. It's mostly text right now.
Okay.
So that's another thing of like maybe even text might be part of like why I may be also receiving it or, may contribute to
So you're
that.
talking about this issue via text.
Parts of it, yeah, we had to because he can't.
Gotcha. That might be contributing because it's hard to play that role that we're talking about via text. That's like more in person or at least on the phone type of thing. It's like you can't really hold space via text. So that may be wise as well. So like it kind of bridges with the original advice I gave you. Just keep it short, right? Give them updates. Maybe don't reveal the extent of like um, the emotional impact,
Okay.
right? And then lean on your other support systems for that, right? And then when he comes back, because this ain't even really a problem you can really solve remote like this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is more like a in person. I won't say you can't solve it. It's just
I want to have an action plan in
right.
advance where it's
Yeah,
like,
you want to talk
once
about
a
it,
month.
but like when you're remote like that, this is like we're in maintenance mode. Think of it like that. When you're remote in that way, especially when you didn't really have a long time to set like a very strong foundation of the relationship and it's long distance now,
Mhm.
you're maintaining.
Mhm.
So solve this problem when it's time to solve the problem because you only even want to solve it right now because of the family issue that you're having. You don't have to go into detail about the family issue, but I'm sure there's going to be a deadline for when that's not a big problem.
Yeah, it comes and
Right.
goes, right?
So
It's
when
just
that's less of a priority in your life, this is a secondary problem. The real problem is the family thing, and then it's extending
yeah.
to this. Once the family problem lowers in severity or priority, then this problem we're talking about doesn't really exist much anymore, right? So this
Right.
is something you can actually wait out and then revisit when he's in person because he's likely not going to learn this skill when he's off like working on something that just takes higher priority now because that's why he's deployed in the first place. So yeah, I would wait to even really bring it up again. You've already mentioned it once. Mentioning it again while y'all are long distance, he's not going to not receive it, but he's not in a place mentally for that seed you're planting
Well,
to
he's
sprout.
not gone right now. So
Okay.
right now he's in training.
Okay.
So
When's he
we
return?
have next week.
Okay, perfect.
So
Do it then.
we'll see each other for like I think 6 weeks,
Yeah.
and then he goes again for like 3 weeks, and then he comes back, and then he leaves.
Okay.
So we have time,
Cool.
but that's where it's just like I do feel like I want to say something because I got family stuff. We got Easter, we got
Right.
so there's still things, but I also know like I'm not pressuring him also to meet my family so he can even see for himself
Okay.
the actual dynamic, not just me
Him
bringing it
meeting
in.
your family doesn't
But
solve this problem, right? It probably gives some more
right,
empathy for your situation, but it doesn't solve the actual problem because you're basically saying like, "This is how I want you to engage me when I'm being emotional." Him meeting your family isn't going to magically give him that ability,
okay,
right? So wait till he comes back. Tell him about this. Be sensitive when you bring it up in terms of like never make him feel, especially with situations like this where you're trying to help him learn a skill, not necessarily make up for something that he's
if you
missing,
struggle with that.
right? Um,
Mhm.
try not to make it feel like criticism. So make sure like it's similar to the other guy who was trying to hold his woman accountable, right? Remember when I told him like the sandwich
I've
method?
been listening and I try to be
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah. The sandwich method is good for anyone, right? If you're giving somebody feedback, start with something positive, then give them the thing that needs to be worked on, and then end with something positive, right? Because he is, while he's
Right.
in training, he is checking up on you, obviously, and trying to
Yeah.
make sure you're good. So it's his intentions are good. He's coming from a good place. It's
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
skill
He
aspect of it
recognized
that we're
that.
working on,
Hmm.
right? So you want him to know that you recognize that and know that you appreciate that. And now it's like less like my man just said, the compliment sandwich, right? That's how you want to engage. 'Cause you don't want him to feel like, oh, I'm just dropping the ball again, because that just kind of beats us
Right,
down a bit.
right. And then I didn't, like I said, when he first did it,
Mm,
that it was at that point, I did message him and I was like, hey, I know this is not your actual intentions, but this is how it's coming off to me.
right,
Like you're in the moment of trying to correct, but I know that's not what you want to do.
right,
And so he was like, oh, that wasn't what I was trying to do, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I know your heart, like, but, and so then I was like, I appreciate you trying to show up. So I did try to do that. It's just again, he did it again when he was trying to actually check up on me.
right.
And he was just like, bro, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
You know, like you're not here. We're not on the phone, so I don't want to talk about it if I'm gonna get this again.
Yeah.
because it's like what you said, like it needs to be in person. So I am waiting for the in person to then develop that action plan, like you said, like so.
There we go. Well, you got the plan, love. Definitely keep me
That's
posted after you have the conversation. But I'm glad to see that things are still going well between the two of you.
yeah. I one thing about the lives which is helpful, but then another part, like just with the content in general, because everything is saturated. When I do feel some type of way, I try to look for techniques or a video or something that will tell me like, hey,
Right.
you do. And I have been doing the other things. I fill my time with stuff, but it doesn't take away something's going to happen.
Sure.
It's going to put me in my emotions.
Right.
So again, I am in therapy. I have my support groups know they're. We've had the conversation of how support shows up.
Right.
Yes, it could be feedback, but all that, whatever.
You're good, Cece. You don't
So
have to. You don't have to overthink. I know you're doing the work. You're good. You're good.
I'm
You're
trying.
doing swimmingly. All that you can expect from another person is just them trying and putting effort in. And you're trying. You're
Yeah,
putting effort in. You're never going to be perfect. He's
right.
never going to be perfect. The most that you can expect is someone trying. If you get
Yes.
someone who is trying, you're with the person that you can work with. All right.
Yeah, this is the furthest I've gone, so this is probably also why I'm like, I don't want to self-sabotage,
Mm-hmm.
but I know I'm overthinking. How can I meet myself? So,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I'm proud of you. Proud of your growth, love.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
for taking the time. All right, everybody, tap the screen, share the live, do all the things. This is streaming on YouTube. So,
Yep.
but I'll be able to go back. So that's a good thing. I'll be able to go back and remind myself of the things you said. So I appreciate it. That's why y'all got to come up. So,
That's
all
right.
right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, Cece. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Putting in that work. Ariana, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi. Hi. What's going on?
Remember the Marine guy I told you about
Yeah.
that I met on TikTok?
Uh-huh.
So we talked for a bit on TikTok, like
Mhm.
via messages, and he seemed like a cool guy. I
Mhm.
mean, he had the same values as I did, same culture and everything.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, could be potential.
Mhm.
So he asked me for my number, and I gave him my number,
Okay.
and he called me, and we talked on the phone for like 2 hours,
Okay.
getting to know one another. Like everything was aligning. But then I told him that, you know what? Let me pray about it. Give me 5 days to pray if, we should talk or not.
Okay.
And then he said, oh, absolutely understand, because I'm Christian too. So
Okay.
I'm willing to wait for you to pray for those 5 days. And yesterday was the second day of me praying about it, right?
Okay.
So I wake up and I open my TikTok after, because I prayed the previous night, like, God, reveal to me if this is the man you want me to talk to. Give me a sign that will indicate if this is the right man for me to talk to, because everything seemed so good. Anyways, so I opened my TikTok and he was live.
Mhm.
Like, he was live and he was literally flirting with a girl. As soon as I opened my TikTok, like, he was the first one to pop up. And this girl was saying, oh my gosh, I'm so cold. And he's like, don't worry about it, I'll be there, blah, blah, blah. And I just commented lol and I exited the live. And I sent him a text and I was like, I got my confirmation. It was good meeting you though. We could still be friends.
Okay.
But I'm not open to talking to you.
Okay.
And
He was on live for what reason?
I guess he hosts live streams as well. Like, just, casual.
So you got a thing for guys who go live? Is that what you're saying?
I don't.
I think
It's
you do,
actually an
Trendy.
ick.
I think you do, Trendy. I think that's something that you like. Okay, so what was the purpose of his live? Do you know?
It's it seemed very casual. There were like 3 girls on the panel and 2 other guys on the panel. It seemed like they were just having a conversation.
There wasn't any like pre-planned subject matter.
Nah, no topic whatsoever.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's that. So he's a social media guy. Sounds
He's
like.
not, I guess, but I don't know. I just feel like, did I do the wrong thing? Or wait, he sends me a DM saying that, because I blocked his number. I don't know if that was wrong, but whatever. I blocked his number and he sent me a DM. He's like, um, by the way, that girl has a son and she's all the way in Africa and she has a man too. And I'm just like, okay, if you know all of that and you could still flirt with her, you're definitely not my type.
Yeah. So there's two levels I'm thinking of here. The first thing is y'all aren't in a relationship. Y'all literally just talking, right? So remember, if you are going to date, you know, um, in today's time, unless like you're dating like really within like structured religious communities, the
Mm-hmm.
assumption is that people are entertaining multiple people, right? That's not always the case. I typically only entertain one person at a time, but I also know that I'm an outlier. Like most people are going to be entertaining multiple people, right? So you just got to know that going in. So him flirting with somebody on live isn't necessarily like, oh, this man is incapable of being loyal because there's nobody for him to be loyal to right now. Y'all are just talking, right? He's probably assuming you're doing the same thing. Like even in your live, aren't you? Your whole life that you met him in was like you trying to find a husband, right?
Yeah, but I don't flirt with men and say things like that because I have a standard, right? I could
So
ask you, where are you based? How old are you? But I'm not gonna say I'm gonna come join you in your bed because you're
I hear you. But
cold.
let's unpack it. So after you made contact with this military guy, did you go back? Did you start going live again?
I did.
Okay, but your live is structured as a flirtation. So your live is basically saying looking for my husband. So you may not be saying like, you know, saying things verbally that are, but the whole premise of your live is attracting male attention
It
to look for
is,
your
but
husband.
I have a certain standard, right? Like I would never flirt with a man on my TikTok and tell him I'll come to your room and comfort you. That's just not my standard.
I hear you, but what you're doing the same thing, the difference is in degree. He did it to a higher degree, which is him overtly saying something. Your entire platform of your live is inviting male attention. So let's flip it. Let's say that he is somebody who is, he meets you and he doesn't go live. And then he gets on TikTok and he sees you're on live basically saying, looking for my husband, and then telling guys to
Right.
DM you. He could have this exact same thought that you're having right now. Oh, this ain't my wife. I just talked to her and I prayed to God and I got online and I see she's on live saying like she's looking for a husband, telling guys to DM her. Do you
Yeah.
see how that will be the same logic if you flip this thing? Right? So you're
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing, it's just the degrees are different. He's just overtly doing it. You're creating the stage for it to come to you. So y'all are both guilty of doing the same behavior. So
Fair enough.
now let's get more nuanced. But you see how even though you created the live, you're still not really taking it super serious, right? So you can make the argument that him even flirting was him not taking it super serious. Now, here's where we get more nuanced. I would say I tend to have an aversion to people who just need attention. I tend to have an aversion to people who just need attention. So where I do agree with you is the fact that he's going live for like no reason. And this is just a preference. This is just something I've noticed with people, especially like social media people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really date social media people who are just trying to get attention just to get attention. Like, I'm not a social media guy, even though I've been an influencer for quite some time now. I've always had a purpose. This live is business. I'm not here just chilling with y'all, right? This is for business reasons only. If I did not have a business, I wouldn't be posting on social media at all. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, people who are just going live just to go live, it's a gray area thing, but it normally, yeah, it usually means they don't get enough attention in real life. It points to a validation issue oftentimes. when you just want attention for attention's sake, it points to a validation issue, and that can have second order effects to where it's like actually negative. So, I would say I don't think that having the context that you prayed first and then you saw this gives me the feeling that you were meant to see it, right? So
Yeah.
two things can be true at the same time. One, it's true that you are guilty of the same thing that he's guilty of, but two, this also may be revealing that this is not the person that you are probably supposed to engage with, just from a spiritual perspective. Because I think the sequence of events, you praying and then immediately seeing him going live and then flirting in that way, because you could have went live. He probably wasn't flirting the whole live, right? Like he probably was flirting like if you would have gotten live maybe 10 minutes later, you probably wouldn't have seen any kind of flirtation.
Exactly.
So I think that the prayer served that function just from a Christian frame, right? So I think that he probably wasn't the guy for you. With that being said, if you're going to hold people to that standard, then what you would have to change on your end is the moment you meet somebody, stop going live and inviting new attention.
Okay.
Okay?
That's fair.
Mhm.
Thank you.
No problem. You going to go back to your regular account now?
Yeah.
All right. You're close though, Ariana. I can feel it. Okay?
What?
I say you're close. I think you're close to finding somebody. I
Yeah,
can feel
yeah,
it.
definitely.
Are you still going to do the in-person thing?
I am.
Okay. What's the timeline for that?
First of next month.
First of next month.
First weekend of next month.
I think that's really where you're going to have most of your results, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You can still do the TikTok thing. I know I advise for you to go live and stuff like that. Not, I wouldn't so overtly go live looking for your husband though. Like that's not really what I was telling you to do. You want that to be a secondary thing, right? You're already a beautiful woman. Just them seeing you. That's why I was telling you, like, be seen. When you were going live before, you weren't being seen. So I was like, be seen. You have your aesthetics are a God given gift, right? You should be seen. So turn your camera on. But that doesn't mean turn your camera on and be like, hey, I'm looking for a husband right now. You're probably not gonna find a quality man doing that. But just build your businesses. Just get traffic for your business, and you being attractive is just a secondary observation, and you'll naturally just find men who are attracted to you. You don't have to be so overt with it. Okay?
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right, love. Well, best of luck to you.
Alright. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, Nazi, what's going on? Talk to me.
Hi, hi. Can you
Hello.
hear me?
I can. How are you?
Okay, I'm fine, and how are you?
Good. I'm good. What you got going on? You got an update for me?
Kind of. Actually, I think this is just a short question, and I thought I would just use the opportunity and, of course, talk to you and also ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
And also tell you about the situation. So, a couple of days, I told the guy, if you kind of remember, like, the situation,
Mm-hmm.
I told him, like, I wanted to stop this situation, kind of. I wanted to, like, put it on stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him also, like, why and everything. And as I was, like, kind of explaining myself, he got, like, very calm. And he was actually questioning me, like, why are you thinking like that? Because he thought everything is normal. So I asked him, like, is it normal to, like, not chat for, like, 5 hours and then just, like, one sentence, then 2 hours later, the other one? Like, ping pong is every 2-3 hours.
Right.
So after a long talk, I also asked him, like, what do you want from me? Because this is like a pressure for him. It's like the whole time in his head is like, oh, I have to answer Nastasia, and everything. And so he told me he wants, I don't know how to say it. It's like kind of difficult because he thought he was also questioning because he thought I don't want a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not forcing him to. So that's why he kept, like, kind of back, because he saw no will for me to get into a relationship. So as we was talking, he then interrupted me and said, okay, then let me now get to know your father. And now I'm very like questioning the situation, because at the one hand there's like a lack of communication, but on the other hand he's like also willingly like coming here to Germany. It's like doing this way takes like a lot of hours and also a lot of gas, and gas right now is very pricey, and also staying here is pricey. So I really don't understand the situation right now, because coming here doing all the stuff is kind of pricey. It takes his time, and also he's free, and then he also wants to get to know my father. So I'm not sure if this is now a trick, or he's just like kind of alert because I wanted to end the situation. And this is right now my question. Yeah.
Okay. And your name's pronounced Nastasia?
Anastasia, yeah.
Fire. Fire name. Okay. Okay. So before, I remember that you said that he would go like days without talking, right?
Yes.
And then you said that that was the issue. So then did he correct his behavior and then start talking to you daily?
Yes.
Okay.
So I also like confronted him with that.
Okay.
And he said he wasn't sure if he should write me. I don't know, maybe there's like a miscommunication, or but I think this is his character. I really think he's not really like on his phone, like he's not used to it. I asked him like, how did you do it like with the other girls? Like
Right.
how was like your relation with other girls? How did you do it?
Right.
And then he said actually it was like the same, but he could see them more in person.
Right.
And he said like, that's like kind of the issue between both of us. So I just replied like, if I would be because he has like a bigger brother, so and the bigger brother is also in a relation, and I said like, if he would have behaved if your brother would have behaved like you, like your house would be on fire because of the girlfriend. I said this is not normal, kind of, you know. And so, and he even
Wait, come back.
oh, was I gone?
You were gone for like 10 seconds.
Also, okay. I just wanted to say, after our conversation, it was like more in the night, and like 2 hours later, I saw he wrote me like a text where he told me like he has like been thinking about our conversation, and he said like, I would love to like read it right now, but I can't go out of this TikTok. So
Yeah.
Of course, so he regretted it, and he said he would love to change.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing kind of changes, but I can really see like he's having difficulties with it. But I'm kind of seeing changes, but also not.
So if y'all were to get into a relationship and get serious, what would be the next step? Would you move to him, or would he move to you, or would y'all just stay long distance?
And that's the right problem, because I'm 24, and I don't know. I think it's time to like search for a husband, like something that makes sense.
Right.
Yes, and also in my head is like, because of his age being 22.
Yeah.
For me, it's like he still wants to. He doesn't want kids now. This is like right now in my head.
Okay.
We haven't talked about it because that's actually very serious, and also there is an issue. Our parents know each other. Like my father doesn't know like him, but my mother knows like the whole family. And there's also a problem between his father and my mother. Like my mother doesn't like his father, but his father likes me and my mother. It's kind of complicated.
Oh, so it's family beef. You got some from Romeo and Juliet energy here.
No, actually, no. It's more like my mom always says this is a bad person. Like she doesn't like them. It's a little bit complicated. So actually, I also don't want to like waste your time, and you know, it's yes, I don't know.
So you don't even know what the future will look like if you did commit to him, because right now it's just long distance.
Right now it's just long distance, and we haven't like I haven't like talked about this topic because it's actually very serious.
Okay.
And yes, and I also see myself right now. It's like right now it's a serious age. It's a very serious age. And I see myself actually right now like getting to know somebody who wants to commit, marry, have children. This is like actually what I want.
Right.
And I'm scared to wait for him, because if he wants to wait until 25, I'm already, I don't know, 30? No, a little bit less, but almost 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the real issue here is the distance and the lack of clarity, which I think is really just connected to the ages. People who are young, who have very limited life experience, so they don't even know how to approach this in an intentional way,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's part of the problem here. I think he wants you. I do think he wants you. But he may not know. That doesn't mean that that's someone that you are supposed to like marry, right? Just because he has desire for you, right? Can tell he has desire for you because he has changed his behavior. Y'all have already been intimate, so we're past the point of him like pretending to get something out of you, you know. So now it's like him just showing you his his intentions. He just doesn't have the maturity or life experience to know how to like lead in this scenario, right? Um, but you are someone who wants to progress things somewhat quickly, right? So like if you want to get into a relationship, you want to start having marriage conversations and start, planning for kids immediately. He may not be at that place yet, right? Right now he wants you. It doesn't mean that he wants the life that you want. Does that make sense?
It actually makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, but part of wanting you would also include the life that you kind of envision for yourself.
Yeah.
So right now he's probably just seeing a beautiful woman who is probably great to be around, but hasn't really factored in everything. That was a bar, wasn't it, Danny? Keep note, baby. Keep note. Uh, so yeah, I would say I think your gut is leading you in the right decision. This may just be someone who you had a lot of chemistry with, but you may not be very compatible with. So you might want to find someone who is potentially closer. I think that the real problem here is going to be the long distance. And when you're long distance like that, it requires way more planning than he's probably used to dealing with. Him meeting your father and stuff like that isn't solving the actual problem. I think he's trying to do that to try to show you how serious he is, but that doesn't mean that he's ready for all it would entail when it comes to choosing you.
So, okay. So it actually is. Yeah.
No, hold on one second. Let me mute this person. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, like continue this situation right now is actually just wasting time, kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when there's been no conversation, no clarity around like how to proceed, right? And you would want to be with somebody who you wouldn't have to tell, hey, I need to know what your plan is, I imagine.
Yeah.
You would want a man to kind of come with that already, like, okay, I want you, this is what's going to be. Like, I'm gonna meet your father, and then I'm gonna move you to me, or I'm gonna move here, and yada yada yada, right? But he's not even knowing he's supposed to do that because of the lack of experience so far.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, then. Okay, the good thing is like I've already like mentally or more like emotionally, I've already like kind of put a cut into it because I've already know it. I was just like trying to force it, I guess.
Right.
And so just another question just comes like randomly into my head is
Sure.
like, where do you think it's a weird question, but where do you think I could find like somebody who also has like this kind of plans and is also in this situation? Because I think outside like nobody like knocks on your door,
Right.
nobody talks to you, and also like being like on Instagram is like, do you have like a tip maybe?
I mean, I think moving to North Carolina would do wonders for you. I would say come to the U.S., move to North Carolina. There's definitely a lot of guys here who would go ahead and lock you down immediately. But other than that, it's challenging, right? I don't know what the culture like is there in Germany, but I would tell you the thing that I tell everyone else is to put yourself in static environments. You know, Like I've seen some of the stuff you post. You're obviously like you have a friend group, all that kind of stuff. But it would be more so being intentional about putting yourself in environments where you can see the same people over and over again. So it's not so much focused on like traveling or going to concerts or engaging in nightlife. It would be more hobbies, community focused.
Mm-hmm.
Like church is an example of that, even though you don't have to reduce yourself to church. But that's an example of that because you go there weekly and you see the same people. So it's like, okay, what hobbies do you have? What hobbies are you interested in cultivating? Do you have any kind of niche interest in general? Okay, well, then let's find places where people are, you know, fellowshipping or getting together in those spaces and just plug ourselves in that community. I gave a woman some advice yesterday about like leveraging Facebook for that. There's a tons of Facebook groups that are oriented around people connecting on different hobbies, whether that be anime or pickleball or hiking, like Dre just said, run clubs. All right, you can start using that to find those type of communities where you can just plug yourself in, and don't make it your mission to find a husband. Make it your mission to just connect socially with people, spread good energy, spread good vibes, and that will naturally lead you to a place where you'll start making romantic connections.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All
Okay,
right.
then I'll just say thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Keep me
as
posted though. Definitely come back. All right.
yeah, no problem. I'll try.
All right, love. Best of luck to
Okay,
you. All right.
bye bye.
Bye. That's just pressure, bro. You have no idea. Lady K London.
Hello,
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. What can I do for you?
Um, I have a slight problem. I'm talking to this guy, and we've been talking for about 2 weeks now, and he lives in Atlanta, and he hasn't made the effort to come and see me. I mean, I'm 2 hours away. I'm in Augusta, Georgia, and he hasn't sort of made any effort at all. He just wants to keep talking,
Mm,
and I'm kind of getting a little bit. I don't like stagnant. I don't like it being stagnant. Think it's a little bit boring now. If we're not making any plans to meet, what we're doing, I feel
right.
like we're wasting time.
Right. Okay. Um.
So, do you think I should? Do you think I should wait, or do you think I should, or just pose the question to him? You know, when are we going to see each other? I mean, my birthday's pushing on the first week in April,
Mhm.
and I'm just thinking, what's happening?
How did y'all meet?
I mean, I'm not online. I mean, I don't chase men, but I would like to find someone with the same age. We're 53 this year. And, with all what's going on around the world, time is not on our side, really, if we're pushing over 50.
Right.
So I really want to settle. So I don't want someone that's going to waste my time. So how do and I don't want to sound like I'm being pushy or forceful.
Right. I got you. So, and how long have y'all been talking?
2 weeks. And he's just talking like, oh, I'm going to the store, or I'm looking after my children, or I'm watching the ball game. I'm thinking, okay, like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan? He's not really an ambitious person, which I think for me is not really great. He's happy to do a 9 to 5, whereas I'm an entrepreneur, and I want to meet someone who's entrepreneurial, has an entrepreneurial mindset.
Right. And
And
how much distance is between y'all again?
2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. And he hasn't even mentioned like casually mentioned any kind of plans.
He just said soon, sometime in April. I'm like, what do you mean sometime in April? Like, what are we doing? And I was going to ghost him today, and I thought, well, I don't like to ghost people. I think it's important to state how you feel and just move forward. Do you know what I mean? Move on. And
So
just say to him, well, this
so
is
y'all
not
are
working
two
for
hours away from each other. He's not like a super ambitious or busy guy, and he just told you soon, sometime in April.
me. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would move on. I typically am of the mind you give them about a week to
right.
start to make plans, and then if it hasn't been done in that time period, just go ahead and move on. They're just not serious. You can make the argument if he was farther away from you, this would make sense. But 2 hours is nothing.
Yeah, but I'm not opposed to meeting. Like, I can drive halfway and meet you. I'm not that type of person that's going to say,
Right.
you have to come all the way to meet me. I don't mind meeting you halfway. I drive too.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with that. But I think, do I just ghost him or do I just stay how I feel? Do I say how I feel and move on?
You can just I don't think you should ever just ghost somebody, right? Unless like they're disrespecting you. But yeah, you could just say like you're just not in aligned. So I just feel like we're not aligned. So I wish you the best of luck. Right? You don't have to get into any kind of like specific details.
Right. Okay. And you said come to North Carolina. That's where the men are.
That's where the men are. Yeah, come together.
The ones that are serious.
Absolutely. Gotta come to
I'm very
NC.
much into my praise and worship. So if you can appoint me to a really good church, then I'll be happy to go up there and have a look.
Absolutely. We got some down here. So let me know when you're here and I'll point you in the right direction. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking my call.
No problem, love. You take care.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.
At ease. At ease. Dre, what's going on, bro?
What's good, man?
Chilling.
I didn't necessarily was asking for advice. I was actually trying to give the advice to the younger lady that was there before about being in that situation of like distance and moving. I have dealt with that a lot because of the military, and
Okay.
you're very, very correct, right? If you have the plan and action to, you will, right? My partner and I were engaged and in a long distance relationship for most of our engagement,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I knew when I started dating her that like she lives in New York, I live in DC, and I will have to make the steps to get to move her down here. So that's went from going from a studio apartment to a 1 bedroom, from 1 bedroom to like 2 bedroom, or looking to start buying a house. Like if you're gonna take the actions and you're very serious about it, you will do it.
Right.
Even the lady that was there before, about the 2 hour drive, man, I drive 3 hours to New York. Like,
Yeah.
2 hour drive is nothing.
Right.
So
Right.
like, don't let people like settle. You know, like if you truthfully are seeing something in someone that you realize that it's going to be an issue or a red flag, you don't feel like they have the effort that you need to give you. There's no point of you settling for that, because then it's just going to turn into a sword that grows bigger over the years.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's like the number one advice I give people who entertain long distance relationships, man, is like you can't keep them in this nebulous state that's like too general, right? You have to have a plan. You have to, like, I'll talk to some people and they'll tell me they've been in long distance relationships for like 4 years. And I'm like, that's too long. It's an unnatural state. Like, I feel like once you enter into a relationship in your long distance, you're on the clock then.
Yeah,
We have to know
make the
exactly.
steps.
Yes.
You know, try your best to make this. I do understand moving is a lot. I do understand like sometimes it does limit you, and you have to kind of coincide like who's gonna compromise and move where, right?
Right.
Depending on where you're at. But if you work in a decent career field that is movable or more adjustable, it's just, or let's say you work at home, it does make the process easier.
Yeah.
And so you start looking at things like that. How marketable is my career that allows me to be able to shift if need be,
Right.
so that you finally get somewhere? Because being in a relationship 5, 6, 7 years in a long distance is not good.
Right. Right. Well, I appreciate you coming and sharing the good word, brother.
All right.
Take care of yourself, man. All right. Mama Maya.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I've actually been on this live once before.
Oh, nice.
And I guess I just kind of wanted like affirmation, I guess, for what I'm choosing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm deciding to get divorced,
Mm.
and it's because of it wasn't particularly just because of this one statement, but it's because of what's led up to it. So I'm very much into like politics and all this stuff. My husband's not. I'm into anime, all that stuff. And so I was trying to talk to him last night about something that I saw going on with politics, and he turned to me and went, "And I give a crap why."
Mm.
And that just kind of broke something in me, because that has been our whole relationship of, he's very much into video games, watching video games on YouTube, just kind of like stuff like that. And I try, I've learned how to play GTA. I've learned how to use like, I forget what they're called, like an Xbox console,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what he's into. You know, I want to be able to at least show a little bit of joy or a little bit of enthusiasm for the things that he enjoys. And then once, you know, I try to be like, oh, well, this is what I'm into, this is what I want. The only time that I get to do that is when he is not home, which is, you know, not very often. So I feel like I have to hide parts of myself to be able to enjoy things that I enjoy while he, you know, basically runs the household. He gets control of the TV, which at this point, like saying it out loud feels like a very petty thing to end a marriage over.
So has this always been his orientation? Does he just treat politics like this, or anything that you're interested in that he's not interested in?
Anything that I'm interested in that he's not
Okay.
interested in. Like, we had an argument a couple of weeks ago because, so I'm also into sewing. I love making dresses. And I have like a craft room, and my sewing machine was going at like 9:30, and he barged into the room and was like, why are you being so loud? Like, I'm trying to listen to my video games and I'm trying to do this and that, because his headset had broken. He's like, I can't hear over the stupid sewing machine. And I was like, okay, well, this is like my craft time, you know, like I'm trying to do something. And he got upset with me because of it, and I just stopped. And since then, I haven't entered my craft room. You know, I haven't done anything because I don't want to make him upset, and I don't want him to like be mad at me. And like when he's mad at me, he won't talk to me for like 3 or 4 days. He will completely ignore me, like, you know. And then I'm still expected to have dinner ready when he comes home, have his meal prep ready for when he goes to work, but then he'll just be mad at me and not speak to me.
Okay. So yeah, it's getting worse the more you're talking. So, how long you been married?
Since December 2nd.
Oh, this is a new marriage.
Yeah, and like I kind of looked over some of this stuff when we were dating, because, you know, like that puppy love phase. We've been together for almost 4 years, but yeah.
Okay, so has he been like this even before y'all got married?
It wasn't this bad. He originally I shouldn't say it wasn't this bad. When we were dating and living together, he used to like punch out dressers and stuff. Like, we went through 3 dressers in the first year of us dating.
So what made you marry him in the first place?
Well, because he was showing progress and he was going to therapy, and that's why I'm saying, like, when we first started dating, it was that, and then we moved on from that. He gained a little bit more like emotional recognition and regulation to be able to, you know, control his aggression and his anger and be able to actually communicate with me how he felt, instead of just, you know, putting it out there in a physical way.
Okay.
And so that was he in the military. He currently is in the military, girl. But, you know,
How old
like,
are you two?
I'm 21 and he's also 21.
Okay, this makes more sense. Y'all are young. Okay.
Yeah. But I was raised by a therapist mom, so I was also raised to have emotional regulation, you know, proper ways to be able to, you know, express my emotions to other people as well as myself. And, you know, and I hate saying this because I never think anybody's broken, but I guess in some part of my mind I was like, oh, I can fix him. And then once he started showing the progress that I wanted him to make,
Yeah.
and, you know, just being able to be essentially a person and not somebody ran by their emotions,
Okay.
I was comfortable enough to get married. And then once we got married, like, all that progress just went away.
Gotcha. Okay, so you looked at him as like a project almost.
Oh, I don't want to say that, but like, I
It's
guess,
either
yeah.
that or it's like low self esteem. It's one of the two. So it's like you look at him either as a project, which would make sense if you had like a therapist mom, um, or it's just like you think you deserve that level of treatment, which is less likely if you had a therapist mom, right? So,
Ooh.
um, so yeah. So I mean, this was just someone you shouldn't have married in the first place. Or you shouldn't even be in a relationship with this person in the first place. To be honest with you, like once we start punching dressers and stuff like that, like okay, that's like a non-negotiable thing. Like I used to tell, when people call into this live, especially women, like tell them to have a list of like non-negotiables. You know, things where first offense we're out. Like for me, that's lying. You lie to me, I'm out. No time for that. I know liars lie. It's likely that this is not the first time you ever lied, right? Just called you, and now I can say, okay, you're a liar, so I can expect more of this from you. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit, right? Um, if I was a woman, I would imagine like punching dressers would probably be on that list. What are we punching dressers for? Like, yeah, get the help that you need, but we don't need to put ourselves in the situation where we are weaponizing empathy against ourselves, right? Like you can
Yeah.
understand why they get mad, or he just didn't have a therapist, mom, to learn emotional regulation, so let me teach him. Mm-mm-mm. You go handle that. I'm going to get someone who I don't have to teach these basic, adult skills to. So, yeah. What was your question? Was your question, should you get divorced or?
Yeah, should I? I don't know. I just kind of like last night broke something in me where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm done with hiding who I am. And, I have no friends. Like, I have no friends at all because, like, either doesn't like my friends or they don't like him. And if they don't like him, he has an issue, so I can't go see them. Like, when we were dating for almost like 2 years, I didn't see my mom except for like 3 times because my mom like was just kind of like, like I'll respect him because he is another human being, but I don't respect him as your partner, and he didn't like that, so I wasn't allowed to see her. And then at some point, my car broke down. He would never drive me to go see people, and it was just like this whole thing.
Yeah, and you have to like really, unpack why you were willing to put up with that amount of treatment, love, because this isn't normal behavior, right? Like the more you talk, the more of a bad picture is being painted. So, yes, absolutely, divorce. You're not in one of those situations where the person is like they have too high standards and they are super entitled and they're getting divorced just because they're like, I want ultimate happiness, right? You were coming from that place, I would check you on that, to be frank. But you're not. You're in a legitimately bad situation. You're living in Gotham. Your household is Gotham City. So you should probably leave for sure.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like making a mistake or this wasn't something that was fixable.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not. It's not even. And I know it's like I'm just hearing your side. I'm sure he would have complaints too, but no. If half the stuff you said was true, it will warrant you leaving the marriage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, love. Well, best of luck to you. Okay.
Thank you. You
All
guys
right.
have a good day.
You take care. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi. So I heard you speaking to the lady a while ago, and I just wanted to find out what's your perspective on dating apps. Do you think it's a good place to meet people? Because I am not from South Florida. I live in South Florida now,
Mhm.
and I work from home. So I just wanted to know, how are people meeting people outside of like church and these kind of things? Because I don't really have a community here. I don't have friends. I have
Right.
a very small family. So
Right.
it makes it difficult to meet someone.
Gotcha. So I'm not like anti dating apps, although I'm getting there.
I
But
understand.
but I'm definitely anti depending on them. And you sound like you would be in a situation where like you would depend on them. That's a bad plan. They're mostly meat markets. They bring out the worst in us, even if we have noble intentions initially. The environment that you place yourself in influences you, right? If I was to put you in prison, you probably would start behaving differently, right? Because your environment would necessitate it. So dating apps influence our behavior in a negative way. You match with any man on a dating app, especially one who is desirable, as I would assume you would, talking to 10 plus people, right? Same thing as you would be talking to 10 plus people. And that just, we start connecting with that many people. You start to look at people themselves as commodities. You objectify them to a degree because they're so plentiful. So it gives you the whole like illusions of options thing. I can talk about the negative aspects of dating apps for hours actually. It also brings it's an environment that has a high degree. It like selects for avoidantly attached people because it's the perfect environment for them, right? So there's just so many negative things about dating apps. That being said, if you're in a new city, you definitely can use them, but I 100% would not depend on them. So, and I would put certain stopgaps in play to make it so you don't divulge into bad behavior on the app, such as if you match with somebody and y'all start a conversation, just pause your account so you can't get any more matches.
Okay.
Because I was a woman who called in like 2 weeks ago. She matched with a guy, was having a good conversation with him, right? Had a good connection with him. And then she matched with another guy who was more attractive. So then she just shifted her focus to that guy, and he's had her in a situationship for a year. And she called into this show like, how can I get him to commit? You're not going to get him to commit. He's out of your league. He just wants to sleep with you, but he'll never commit to you, right? So that's kind of the trap for women, is like it has you reach for the stars. Because why would you not match with someone who's like very desirable, right? It's natural, it's normal for you to be like, oh, this guy's very attractive. But he doesn't see you as like wife. He sees you as someone to sleep with, and now you're stuck in a situationship. It happens over and over and over and over and over again. So it's maybe harmful or hurtful to hear, but that's actually what happens a lot on dating apps. So my approach is to put yourself in static environments. I know this is a new city for you, but that's a very solvable problem. You're going to have to get out the house, right? And not get out the house and go to a concert or go to a bar or anything like that. Those are dynamic environments, meaning those are environments where you see different people every time you go. You want to put yourself in an environment where you see the same people every time you go. You want to plug yourself into a community. That's why it was easier for you to make romantic connections in school. And the reason why so many people want to date their coworkers, because those are static environments. Okay. So you want to do things like join a run club or download the Meetup app and see what kind of meetups are in your area. Get on Facebook and see what kind of communities are there that you may resonate with. Crystal says Eventbrite. That's another good one, right? Plug yourself into communities. It's way better. It's a more of a long-term game, but it's way better than dating apps, right? And you want to treat your problem like it's a social problem, not a dating problem, okay? Because all dating problems are really just social problems, okay? People who have more active, vibrant social lives tend to have good dating lives, okay? So solving that problem solves the other one.
This might sound like a dumb question, because I have tried going to like events, but when you go to an event alone, what are you supposed to do? Because, okay, let me give an example. Like, I tried going out to like Galentine's events, because I'm also new here, so I don't have like a large social circle, right? And then you go to a friendship event, right? And you think it would be women that are looking to engage, but then everybody comes with their, in my experience, I don't know if it's the same in every city, but in the city where I'm at, it's like everyone comes and they have their group of people that they're at the event with already. So it's kind of difficult to break in and be like, besides like, hi, what's your name? What's your Instagram? Like, I have a lot of Instagrams, but building meaningful conversation, friendships, relationships, how do you do that when you go to these events alone?
Well, you're saying events, right? That's the opposite of what I was talking about. So even saying like, oh, this event, you're talking about a dynamic environment again. Those are, when people go to dynamic environments, they tend to click up, right? When people go out to the club, which is dynamic environments are environments where there's different people there every time you go, right? So the bar, a club, brunch, dynamic environments, people tend to bring other people with them to those type of things. That's not what I suggested for you to do. I said to put yourself in static environments where you'll see the same people over and over and over again. So a static environment will be like a run club. A static environment will be probably the gym, going to the gym at the same time. Like a job is a static environment. Church is a static environment, right? Now, the reason why I mentioned Facebook is because there are Facebook groups, whatever city you're in, there are Facebook groups that are made for people who are new to the city who are trying to make friends. So you join those groups, you see what kind of meetups they're having, and then you just attend one of those meetups. Everyone there is in the exact same situation as you. None of them are in a position to where they can click up because they don't know anybody. Right? And then you get the ability to meet them digitally before you meet them in person.
And my last question would be, I am currently struggling with how to date, in the sense where, like, I'm on the apps, I literally did my stats 1 week. Matched with like 113 guys, spoke to like 75. I think like 11 of them asked me out on a date. I ended up going on a date with one the day after. He was like, sorry, not much chemistry. Like, it feels like a lot of volume, but not a lot of quality. And it feels like a big waste of time.
Yeah, because you're on a dating app.
Okay. So you'd say just...
Telling you, I keep telling you, all these dating apps are not the way. This is like, even how men and women treat dating apps, right? So you get on a dating app, we have different problems on dating apps as men and women, right? So women, y'all's problem is y'all get overwhelmed because you have so many likes. You just have so many likes, right? So you get overwhelmed. Guys, their problem is they don't really have any likes. So when guys get on, so what women do is they'll start to disqualify men over the smallest thing because they want to reduce that number. So you'll start disqualifying men over the shoestrings in his shoe or a weird color because you have to find a way to reduce those options. Such a large number. Men, because they don't get matches, they're liking everyone. They're liking everyone because they're not getting matches. Right? So a like to you, if a man likes you, it doesn't mean he really likes you or finds you attractive. He's just seeing who's going to match because he doesn't get likes like that. Right? So that's how you end up in a number where you have 100 and something matches and you only convert that into one date.
So thank you for the static environment. I'll definitely look up. If anyone knows any app recommendations for that, like I think they said Meetup.
Yeah, Meetup,
I
Eventbrite.
didn't know that was an app.
Meetup,
Yeah.
Eventbrite. Meetup kind of sucks nowadays, though. But it's worth a try. Eventbrite, Facebook, as well. Facebook groups are really good. Yeah, that's what I would do. There's so many ways, man. You could post a video on TikTok saying I'm new to the blah 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 area, I need to make friends, right? And then you'll have other people comment on your videos like, girl, me too, I'm new here as well, what's your number? Like, there's so many ways to solve this problem. You have to think laterally, right? This is what I want people to learn how to do. People don't think laterally. Thinking laterally, school trains you to think that there's one answer to your question. In real life, there's 30 answers to your question, right? So there's 30 solutions. So there's not one solution, there's like 100 solutions. So just start listing them out. You can make a video today talking about how you're new to the city, hashtag the city, talk about how difficult it is to meet people there. I promise you'll get comments from other women in that area saying that they just moved to that city as well. And then you probably can connect with people that way as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. I've been enjoying the chat. So
No problem, love.
thanks.
Best luck to you, all right? Right. Right.
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I have a question.
Sure.
Would you say that okay, so basically I have given up on dating mainly because I really don't even have the time, but also I'm just tired and it's not that serious to me. But I notice sometimes people call in who are like in their 50s or 40s or maybe even 60s. And I even have an aunt, she's 70. She looks like she's in her 50s because black don't crack.
Right.
And she's still dating, you know, trying to date and things like that. Would you say, is there ever a point where you would ever tell someone to not look anymore? Or, I'm not saying that, like, people should just accept being single like I have, or just not try at all, but like for example, my aunt, she's been divorced twice, and she's still kind of trying to find companionship. She doesn't want to get married again, but she wants companionship, and she's having a difficult time. But I just noticed sometimes people come on here, and I'm like, I don't know if I don't know. Would you encourage people to just keep going until they don't anymore, and until
I would encourage people to keep going for sure, because the problem is people don't make improvements, right? They don't know how to solve the real problem. They don't apply what is called the theory of constraints to their situation. What makes me effective at this is I look at it as a system, right? So when you look at something like the theory of constraints, it shows that you have a goal, and then there's something called a bottleneck. It's the one thing holding you back. So it should be the one thing that you focus on, right? So you have to actually identify the actual thing that is holding you back from meeting somebody. The problem is people are really bad at identifying their bottleneck, right? They're really bad at identifying what is holding them back, right? Maybe they'll start to just say that it's just men are the problem or women are the problem. They're really cooked if they get to that point, right? So the reason why, a lot of people will find themselves just perpetually single is because they're either not working on improving whatever needs to be improved for them to find somebody, or they are externalizing the problem onto society or the opposite sex, right? So like for your aunt who got divorced, it's like, well, did she reflect on why did things go wrong? Or did she default to just the man was a narcissist? She just happened to marry two narcissists, right? It's like, okay, did you vet properly, right? Did you vet this person? Did you miss something? Did you ignore red flags? Did you just get into marriages in order to not be alone in the first place, right? Like, let's get down to the actual root of the problem. And me doing these lives has proven that people are really bad at identifying the root of their problem. So they end up coming up with solutions that don't really solve the problem because they don't even know what the problem is to begin with. So yeah, if you don't have the skill set for that, you don't know how to do that, then yeah, you're probably going to, just keep running around in circles.
So you are of the mindset that there's somebody for everybody. You don't think that anybody...
Yeah, there's a lot of people on the planet, man. There's just so many people out there. It's like it is more unlikely that there is no one for you because of how many people are out there, right? What happens is people tend to like close themselves off and harden their hearts as they go through painful experiences, right? And that decreases the odds that it will happen. So you have to kind of intentionally keep your heart open and soft while doing this, and it requires intention because the default setting would be to harden it and put walls up. A lot of women do this, right? They start to, as they get a little bit older and stuff like that, they start to create these like unrealistic standards, thinking that they're showcasing how good of a catch they are. What they're really doing is trying to make it hard to access their heart because they're afraid of getting hurt. So it's not that they're trying to find this amazing man. They're just trying to make it very hard for any man to qualify because they don't want to get hurt again.
Right. And to clarify, because they're saying that I'm being a hater and I'm telling my aunt to give up. That wasn't what I said at all. What I asked him was, is there ever a time that you would tell people to give up based on their ages or anything that's going on? I never told my aunt to give up. She's a beautiful woman. She's well educated. She deserves companionship. I would never tell anybody in my life or even a stranger to give up. My question was that if sometimes people keep running into the same thing over and over, or if they're in their 60s or even their 70s, what his advice would be. So no, I would never tell someone to give up. And then one last quick question is, I have a friend, like so she's lost like 200 pounds, and I think she thought that would be the thing, because you talked about internal. She thought that would be the thing to get her husband after losing 200 pounds, and she still hasn't. And she's done like a lot of stuff for herself and all that. What do you say in like those cases? Because I know like for some people, they like, okay, well, let me change my looks, or let me do this, or let me do that. Would you say that maybe there is something else then deeper, or
Yeah, it's deeper. Like that's why I give frameworks to help y'all kind of solve these problems. One framework I got from my coach is called the three pillars of attraction. It was like his main contribution to this space. The three pillars are pre-selection, persona, and personality. Okay, pre-selection, persona, and personality. Pre-selection is how attractive you are if before you engage anybody. So you walk in a room, how attractive are you? Right? It's a measurement of that. You can put yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. Persona is how attractive you are when you are engaging somebody actively. So when I teach men game, I'm teaching them how to get better at their persona. Right? Scale from 1 to 10 again. Personality is how attractive are you at your core. So when someone gets to know you, how attractive you are. That's the killer one, to be honest with you. When it comes to relationships, that's the problematic pillar. The first two are really to get attention. The last one, personality, is the relationship one. Okay? So personality is going to be things like your attachment style. It's going to be things like your psychological development, maturity level, how integrated you are. Like if you're a woman, okay, are you feminine and have you integrated your masculine and went back to your feminine, or have you just polarized to the masculine, right? So judge yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 there. You get to at least a 7 out of 10 on each one of those pillars, you won't really have a problem like that. You may have a problem with like finding someone who, you know, you want to be with. Like this doesn't account for the timing aspect of things, but it does position you to when you do come across that person, it's normally just a go, right?
yeah.
So when she was losing her weight, she was focusing on pre-selection, right? So pre-selection is the marketing of attraction, persona is the sales of attraction, and then personality is the product of attraction. When she lost weight, she just improved the pre-selection category. But maybe that wasn't her problem. Maybe she had a persona problem. Maybe when she went on dates, men did not want a second date with her because the experience of her wasn't that great, right? So how do you know which pillar to improve? You look at what problem you're facing. If you're having a hard time getting any dates, it's likely a pre-selection problem. You're not effectively capturing attention. So the guys who are like looks match, okay, looks matching will help that pillar. Because it is the marketing of attraction. You will get more attention if you look better. Your friend got more attention when she lost her weight, right? But when you go on a date with somebody, pre-selection isn't really that active. The persona is active. So if you find yourself getting first dates, but you can't convert those into second and third dates, it's probably a persona or personality problem, right? If you can date for a while, but you can't get commitment, it's likely a personality problem, meaning psychological growth and maturity is needed. So what is reality showing you? What results is reality showing you? And based on what reality is showing you, which pillar needs attention?
Okay. I'm biased maybe because she's my friend, but I think she has an amazing personality. So I'm like,
Yeah, but you know her.
I've been on a date with her.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you said that because so many women were like, I said, there's so many amazing women here. It's like they're amazing friends. Romantically, your friend ain't never tried to pop your tires. Your friend never blew your phone up and called you 1,000 times when you weren't answering. It's a different dynamic. So just because you're an amazing friend does not mean. There are guys who are super loyal to their homeboys but cheat on their wives. It's a different dynamic. You can't judge it the same way.
Yeah, of course.
So I know you know that. I'm speaking to the chat right now when I said all that. But so it's like it's really what is reality showing her, and we gotta be objective. If she's able to get matches on dating apps and she gets men asking her on dates, then pre-selection is probably good enough, right?
Right. I think she thought that if she lost weight, then her problems would be solved.
Right.
And
it was in the right direction. It probably just wasn't enough. If she lost 200 pounds, that definitely was an issue. So she was right to solve it, right? It's just it's just the truth. If she lost, if you say you lost a person. So it's like if you lost that much weight, yeah, you had that much weight to lose, that was 100% a sticking point. But there may be more things to address outside of that.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem, love. Share what I just shared with you to her and let me know what happens, okay?
I will. I was just asking to make the point of what I was saying, but I will share that because I do think that's good.
Absolutely. Well, you have a good day, love.
All right.
All right. Dr. M, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I have a situation. I've been hanging out with this guy, and I'm just wondering if we're just friends or if there's something more there. I'll give you a bit of backstory. We met just 4 months ago, and we became pretty good friends quite quickly. And we're both very busy people. We travel a lot for work, but despite that, we've managed to consistently catch up. We call it catch ups, like we'll do like a coffee catch up or something. And he's very respectful, very old school, which I like. He's met my family. He comes over the house, to the house for meals every now and then. He hangs out with my brother a bit. But I'm just not sure where we stand. Like recently, I said to him, like, I've got an overseas work trip coming up, and he said to me, "Oh, I have good friends living in that country. I wouldn't mind coming with you," stuff like that. And his mom lives overseas, and he said to me recently, "Oh, I'd like my mom to visit because I'd like you to meet her." So I'm not quite sure where this is going, if it's just friendship, but he did tell me that he's been through quite a bit of relationship trauma. The last woman that he was with just up and left one day all of a sudden and went back to her ex, So he said to me, first day I met him, he said to me, I'm shy, but despite that, I think he's been pretty open with me. But then there has been quite a bit of relationship trauma, so I'm not sure if these things are holding him back or what the deal is here.
Okay. So what's your main question here?
Is this just friendship? Are we just friends, or could there be something more there? Like, do you think he's interested in something more?
Okay. How did you meet him again?
My brother runs a couple of businesses, so we met through the business 4 months ago.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And how you said you met 4 months ago? You said.
Yes.
Okay. And he hasn't. So far, the interaction has just been like. How did you know all these things about him? Did y'all like talked about past relationships and things like that?
Yes, I mean he initiates those kind of conversations. Like he's pretty open when it comes to conversation, and it just flows. So he asked me even like my dating history and all of that, and he told me about stuff that has happened to him.
Right. Okay. So he's asked you about your relationship and things like that. What does your gut say? Does he engage you in a way that's kind of like flirtatious, or seems like he has some degree of interest in you, or does it just seem friendly?
I feel that there could be interest. Like people who look at us, like the onlookers, they're convinced that we're together. My friends are saying, "Oh my gosh, the chemistry is so obvious." Like I feel there's interest, but because nothing has been verbalized, I can't be too sure, and I kind of question that. What's going on here?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long ago did his situation end, where he said that his woman just left him?
I think it's been at least a couple of years now.
Okay. Do you know how long they were together?
I don't know, but he said he hasn't dated since.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that would make sense why he's so like kind of like awkward here.
Okay.
I mean, you could like indirectly show him that it's okay for him to move things forward with you, like maybe start giving him compliments and things like that.
Okay.
And maybe on how he dresses, if he dresses well or something like that. Tell him he looks nice today. So it's kind of like grease the wheel a little bit, and kind of give him the inkling that like, oh, she sees me. Seems to have a degree of interest, right? Just to see what happens if you kind of give him that that type of energy. But I think if you feel like there's something there and your friends are telling you the same thing, I think it's likely, especially given the understanding that it's been years since he's dated anyone. He's probably out of practice and probably skittish around dating in general.
Yeah. That's what it seems like, and he's very keen to introduce me to his circle. That's happened pretty quick, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm not great at chasing a guy, and ideally, of course, I want to be pursued. But in this case, I don't know. There seems to be a struggle with him, you know, and sometimes it seems like as the result, it's mixed signals where we get along so well, and I'm not sure, and I think he's not sure if I'm interested either, you know.
Exactly.
But I'm not sure how to subtly make it known, because this itself is a huge stretch for me.
That's why I was saying to give compliments and things like that, just because that would give him give him something to work with, right?
Okay.
You tell him he
Okay.
looks nice could give him enough of a push to like actually make some sort of a move on you.
Yeah, absolutely. But what do you think? What's your take? Do you think that
I don't
could be
know. I don't have
possible?
enough. This is something where I would have to see the vibe in person, to be honest with you. So I'm just the way I'm looking at it is you feel a lot of times we know it, right? Like
Yeah.
there's been times where people have come on this live and they think that someone's interested in them and you find like, oh, you're batshit crazy. You're just
Yeah.
you're an insane person. That person didn't show
Yeah.
you any signs that they're interested. Y'all remember a chat? Y'all remember Shorty who was at the gym who was like she was doing some yoga or something like that, and she was like, "Yeah, buddy. Every time another person talks to me there, he looks at me." And you remember her, Hannah? I was like, "You're cooked up here." She thought she was reading people's minds. I was like, "How do you feel like he's interested in you?" It was like, well, I see the glances I'll be with the other girls and I'll look at them and they'll look at him and I could tell that they're thinking this. And I'm like, the mental gymnastics you're doing is outrageous.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
It's a bit more tangible than that here.
but the nuance is she wasn't coming to this conversation unsure of herself. She thought for sure the person was interested and she was trying to see how to play it. You're coming like, I don't know, but I feel that tells me you're more grounded. Therefore, more than likely, there's mutual attraction. It's just no one's initiating. So you feel the tension.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You feel the
Maybe.
tension and nobody's initiating, so it's just the tension is constantly being built. So you can kind of help a little bit by paying a compliment and being a little just very lightly flirtatious. Not nothing heavy-handed, not nothing like, fill in the blank, but just very light, just to give him a different type of energy to work with instead of just a platonic energy, right?
Yeah.
And then see where he takes it from there. And if you feel like if you have a hard stop on overtly hitting on him, and you don't want to do that, then after you lightly flirt, if he doesn't return the energy, just move on.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem, Dr. M. You take care.
All right.
All right, bye. Okay, CEO. I told Shorty she was crazy too. I said, I think you need help, beloved, because the way that you are thinking about this is very concerning. CEO, are you there? Because you're muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I didn't request to come up, but it's fine. I did have a question.
Okay.
Possibly you can get me from a male perspective, coming from a heterosexual female perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So just to let you know, I was involved in a narcissistic marriage for many years.
Okay.
I've since been divorced for many years now, healed, single, happy, moving forward in my life. Things are going really great. I'm in a really great place in my life.
Good.
And one of the things that that concern me is I automatically default to placing a guy into the narcissistic bucket, okay? Because of my past experience with that. And when I say that, I don't come out like right about it, but I'm always looking for signs. Like I'm super duper cautious. So like I said, I haven't dated in a while. I'm a very nice and attractive woman. I know you see my avatar on there, but I have guys that have tried to, I think, flirt or whatever, but because I've been so focused on other things and not even concerned with dating or being with anyone because of the level of work that I had to do, deep introspective work, therapist, really getting myself together. I'm just really, really, cautious about it, right? I don't want to say fearful, but I'm cautious about it. I'm very cognizant about it. And I've done a lot of work on myself, right? It's like when you have that gift that's packaged up so pretty and it looks so nice and it's so nice and you know that it's a great gift and you don't even want to open it up because of the presentation, right? and how good it looks, and the things inside of it is great, and I'm proud of myself because I had to do some work on me. I'm not just placing it all on him, right? So how do I move forward? I do have someone that's interested. I'm just going to be honest. It's very acquainted stage. Every guy that has, I'm going to be honest, that has tried to, I guess, shoot their shot, I friend zone them. And so, like I said, it's by choice. I could have been dating or what have you, but I also wanted to work on me, and I am a businesswoman, so I work a lot, right? And when I have my extra time, I like to spend it with my family. So just kind of wanted to know if you had any kind of, gems or advisement or wisdom you could give me from a man's perspective, like how do you move forward? Because sometimes it can be very, very anxiety ridden for me to just even think about going a step further from a friendship.
Okay. So when it comes to you moving in like a romantic territory, you have anxiety around that, so you respond to that anxiety by just proactively friend zoning the person?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago did you end your marriage?
It has been now 8 years.
And how long was the marriage itself?
Almost 10.
Okay. And you haven't been in any relationship since?
No.
Okay. Okay. And your fear is that the person will be a narcissist?
Yeah, or just getting into something and, he's not emotionally available, or that avoidance attachment style. And,
Okay.
I'm one of those persons, once I'm locked in, I'm locked in. So as far as like the casual dating, sleeping around, that's not really my stilo. I'm more of an exclusive person. Am I looking for marriage again? No. Would my relationship look like the conventional orthodox relationship? I don't know what that is anymore in 2026, but probably not. But I would need someone that could have a lot of patience for me and understand that I do work. But if I did come across the right person, of course, you make time for the people, places, and things that's important for you, right?
Right, but it's like right now you aren't even open to coming across the right person. But you don't trust it. You don't trust
I
it.
mean, I'm open to it. Before I was totally shut down to it. And like I said, I think now a lot of things have come into play for me to really think about it more, is because now this guy has approached me. Really nice guy. Don't get me wrong, very nice guy, very pleasant, all of those things. But it's like, he's already made it very clear to me that he wants to see, where things could go between the two of us. And I don't really know how to respond to that. I just keep saying, well, let's get acquainted, because I do want to go super slow. I'm not going to say that I'm going to move into it fast. And I think that is wise to do so, right? But I'm just conversating, right? And he even said, we could just go for coffee. It doesn't have to be dinner and all that. Like, he's been very much meeting me where I'm at, right? And I like that, because I would like to do something like a coffee or a tea or something, because I love both of those beverages and hanging out at the coffee house. And it's like all the things he likes is the same as me. He's kind of a nerd like me. But it's just kind of like, wow, like, how can you like to read in museums and galleries and some of the things? But I mean, that's just who he is. And then we're from the same region in the 50 states, the same exact state. We're like 2 hours away from each other. I've never known him or any of his family or anything. It's just, all of it is kind of like, wow, I just don't want to push him away. And if nothing else, like, he could probably be a great friend, right? And I'm okay with that too. Like, if it doesn't work, as far as I know, he wants to explore it, and I just want to kind of take it slow in that process.
Okay. So what's the problem here? Like, you already said that you want to take it slow. What's the problem that you're running into?
I'm just having like a major amount of anxiety about it. I don't know. I don't want to friend zone somebody that may be a really nice person for me, right? Do you think I should just stay slow and just keep taking my data and just stay really observant? And then I don't want to, as soon as something comes up, that a red flag, I'm like, oh, it's over.
Right.
That's not fair either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Somebody said, sounds like you already friend zoned him. I kind of did 24 hours ago, y'all. Not even 24 hours.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not even open to connection right now. Um, due to how did you heal from your previous marriage?
I went through therapy, solitude, working. I'm strong in my faith and spirituality.
Okay.
A lot of crying, a lot of being honest with myself. I did a lot of self work, right?
Okay.
Too, from everything as well. And really just I've always been like this really personal person that tries to take care of things on my own, right? Because I'm the first of everything on my family. I'm the oldest, I'm the first grandchild. Like, I'm the person everybody comes to, right?
Right.
And so this time, my inner circle of friends, my friends are 20, 30 years, plus my inner circle. And they're like, you're not going to go through this by yourself. This time, you're going to allow us to be here for you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, essentially, you're just feeling fear. That's all this really boils down to. When you say anxiety, you're feeling fear. You're afraid of getting hurt, and you don't trust yourself and your own judgment because your own judgment led you to your previous marriage. So you're like, okay, well, I can't even trust myself. So like, if I get into something else, then it's probably going to make the same mistake. But you're essentially fighting ghosts, right? It's unlikely you're going to get in a relationship with another narcissist. There's not that many of them, for one.
Okay.
Like I think it's just not that many of them. That's the first thing. Second thing
Okay.
is um the only way to get over fear is exposure therapy. So you have to face the fear. You have
Yeah,
to face the fear,
I do believe in exposure therapy 100%. Yeah.
right? So I mean, you say that, but it's been 8 years since you've done it, right? You haven't really exposed yourself to this in 8 years. So you understand it logically, but
Yeah, I
somatically
do.
you still stop yourself, right?
Right.
So you have to lean into that intentionally and not look at like the anxiety as being an indicator if you're doing the wrong thing. You have to lean
Yeah, and I
into
and
it.
I and I admit I have built up so many walls, so many things to insulate, right? So I, like you said, of not getting hurt, friend zoning people, and it's almost like I'm oblivious. Like, I've had people say, "You didn't see that guy," and it's like I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Yeah, it's just bad." But yes, I think the marriage. I seen people saying things in the chat. Yes, the marriage was not as bad. He love bombed me. It was very much a love bomb. Speaking in terms of my ex
Okay.
husband,
You
and
don't have to
this is
dive into that,
somebody.
love. Just like and don't focus on the chat because they're just gonna derail the conversation. So
Okay.
what you want to do is there's nothing wrong with you taking it slow, but right now
Okay.
you have to show your nervous system that the last romantic experience your nervous system had was the narcissistic ex. So you're
Yes.
associating from a nervous system perspective romance with that degree of pain. And if you were really with a narcissist and were married for him for that long, then you experienced a lot of pain in that connection, right? So it makes sense why you would try to protect yourself from that. But what you have to
Yes.
do now is retrain it, right? You retrain it by making it uncomfortable, by putting yourself in situations where um, you feel that anxiety and you move in the direction that's causing it. And when you
Okay.
do that and nothing bad happens, you show it that you basically give it a signal that, oh, this is okay, right? You teach it a
Right.
lesson that this is okay. Right now, you prevented that growth because you just defaulted to friend zoning. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to lean into the connection a bit more, right? So it's like if someone invites you on a date, go on the date. Even though the date's gonna make you feel anxious, you gotta go on the date so that you can show your nervous system because the date is probably gonna go well. Especially if you say that you and him have all this in common. The first date is probably gonna go well. Then you'll be like, oh, your nervous system gonna learn a lesson that, oh, when I put myself out there a little bit, nothing bad happens, right?
Okay.
And you slowly just kind of retrain it to not seeing a threat with this situation.
Okay. I think that's good. I think that's a good start. And I think the fact I haven't told him about all the narcissists and pieces of that yet, because it's like I'm still not willing to open up so much, right? With a lot of things. And I did tell him, I just kept saying, I just need you to be patient with me. But he even called something out to me last night. I know I'm gonna go because there's other people, someone waiting, but it's like he's already paying attention to me. You know what I mean? Like how I'm
Mm-hmm.
moving on things. And he said something like, you're being a little standoffish. And I'm like, no, but I really kind of was, but not really.
Right.
But I guess sometimes you don't realize you're doing things, right? When you've been doing it for so long, other people see things. Like I always talk about our blind spots.
Right.
And sometimes you have those blind spots that you don't see, but other people see it.
Right. Right. So yeah, you just take it slow, right? Not too slow though. Don't like artificially keep this in a weird state. But yeah, definitely go on a date. Like, you have to do the things you're afraid of. So somebody say, like, if you were healed, your nervous system would know. It's like, well, in 8 years after going to therapy and being in isolation, what the fuck else is she supposed to do?
Yeah.
What other healing things? What book has she not read? Like, stop with the dumb shit. You have to do something. In order for things to change, you got to do something different. What you haven't done is actually opened yourself up to some sort of romantic connection. That's one thing you haven't done. You've done the therapy. You've done the isolation. You've done working on yourself. What you haven't done, though, is put yourself in a romantic situation. Okay? So you got to kind of ease into that. All right? And it's going to feel scary, but you got to do it anyway.
Yeah. And I figured not to look at it so hard. Like, oh, this is a date. Like, just, hey, we're going for coffee. Like, I like that. That kind of made it a little bit lighter. Maybe it's a play on words. I don't know. But thank you. Yeah, just maybe that. But thank you for taking the time to answer that question. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep taking it slow and asking him to be patient. And I will say I like the fact that I feel like he's already studying me. Mm-hmm. Like seeing certain things, like he was telling me the other night, like, I noticed you do a lot of multitasking. I was like, how does he know that about me? Like he's paying attention, so I like that.
Okay. Well, keep me posted on how it goes, love.
I am. I was going to tell you, I'm going to follow you, and thank you so much, and I'm going to keep you posted. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care,
love. Good
love.
luck to everyone else.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Jess, what's going on?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so I am not fluent in English, but I'm a tribe. I'm an Asian. So here's the situation. So I have an ex that had before 4 years ago. So they didn't have a good relationship before because he wasn't ready before and I was ready. So it was not a good timing. Then after 4 years, he reached out to me and asking for forgiveness what he did before to me for rejecting me, and he was on regrets right now because he chose the woman that has 5 kids with different father compared to me that I have only 2 kids with 2 different father. But then after that we kind of like talked for a week, and he asked forgiveness. He said he was wrong, and he asked a second chance to me to prove to me that he was not the man that he was before. That he was this kind of a man, like this and that. And I said, I am the person that believe that everybody deserve a second chance. So I did not hesitate of giving him a chance. But I said, I've been through a lot too. I'm a single mom. I've been through a lot too. I'm raising the 2 kids with my own. No help, no child support or anything. And I've been through hell in a dating, thing. Like, I'm always been in a narcissistic people or person. So I do not want to go back to where I was before. And I explained it to him, and I gave him my boundaries that I don't like this. I laid everything to him if I give him this chance. And I said he understand that and blah, blah, blah. So after 2 weeks of communication, even though we have a history, I was very firm on my boundaries. And then he asked me if he can have a naked picture from me.
Yeah.
So I said no, because I said, why would I, even if we had a history before, why would I give him a naked picture where as of now, we're kind of stranger. We're like back to a stranger because we not have communication after 4 years,
Right.
right? So I was firm on my boundaries, and they said, "Why were you not letting me have a naked picture when I'd seen you before?" Blah blah blah. So I was like, "I know that, but it's different now." So he was pissed because he said, "Then maybe you don't like me at all because this and that. I can't give him what he wants." And then I said, "If that's the case, then you put a level on us, since we have a history, and prove to me that you want me back." And then he said, "Well, I will put a level on us if you move back here." And I said, "Okay, I have all my career here, good status of my life where I have peace of my own, and I provide for my kids with no any hassles. And then why would I'm going to give up everything here and move here with not even any have any assurance from him that he will be with me there?" So that's my fear. So he wants me. He said, "I will commit to you if you move here." And I said it's not that easy because he doesn't have any assurance from me. So I was kind of like have fear, anxiety that if I will have a wrong decision again of letting him in my life and take control of my life where I have no assurance.
Uh-huh.
So that's my fear. That's I don't know if I'm gonna go back there or I will believe him. I have anxiety of that.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if I'm gonna take that.
What's your question here?
The question is, should I believe him that he changed and he wanted to me as a better half, but should I believe him that he will commit to me if I move there, or do I don't know, the decision I'm making will be good or not?
When you say if he changed, what specifically would need to have changed? Would he have needed to change?
Like he was lost before. He said he was on a 20 years divorce the time that we met. The time that we meet, he was not ready for any relationship. He just wanted a fling or something like that. And he showed me before that I was ready, and he doesn't want to take that because he wasn't ready. He doesn't want to put me into the situation that I don't know. But he was not ready. That's what he said. And now he said he was not lost anymore. He knows what he wants.
Okay, so before he tried to be kind of casual with you, and he didn't want a relationship, right?
He doesn't want a relationship. He has a bunch of girls, and I even caught him.
Okay, I got you.
With somebody else.
Okay, and so you're like, okay, he didn't want a relationship. He was kind of a player in the past, and you're like, okay, did he change that, right? Within 2 weeks, he asked you for nudes, and you turned him down, and he got mad about it. Does that give you the thought that he's changed, or that he's still a player, probably?
No, I think that he's still not changing.
Right.
That's what in my thoughts. But he said,
right.
Well, I want a woman because this is his reason.
What you have to look for is congruence between behavior and words. Okay? Actions and words. That's what you're looking for. The person says things and their behavior matches what they say. If you are in a situation where their words and their actions do not match, you are being deceived, either intentionally or unintentionally. Okay? He's telling you he's changed. He's telling you he's changed. He's telling you he wants something serious. He's telling you that he chooses you. His actions are, send me nudes. I don't see why you can't send me nudes. What's the problem with sending me nudes, right? His actions are different. If his words were true, he wouldn't have asked for that. He would instead put more of an emphasis on working on the connection, considering the history that y'all share. Okay? So ultimately, love, this is a waste of time. All right?
Okay. So
Okay.
he's still on the playing games at this point.
Yes. And this is not someone to wait for at all. This is something to end and move on forever.
Okay. Thank you so much for the clarification, because I'm very attracted to him, but that's what my struggle is, because I told him that I need an action, and I'm gonna be I stand on my boundaries.
You're not standing on your boundaries. You got to stop saying that, because you're not. If you were standing on your boundaries, you would have already left. You're just saying you stand. You're not. There's not. So right now, there's not congruence between your words and your actions, because you're telling me that you're standing on your boundaries, but now you're asking me questions that relate to you not respecting your own boundaries, right? So you are doing the same thing that he's doing, right? You're not standing on your boundaries. If you really want to stand on your boundaries, you would just completely move on from this situation entirely. Okay?
Okay. Thank
All right,
you
love.
so much, sir.
No problem. You
I
take care.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right. No more callers. If you have a question, y'all can drop it in the chat, but no more callers.